The Liberal caucus gathers in Vancouver tomorrow morning, and it should be quite a meeting. At the top of the agenda is the future of former Energy Minister Bill Bennett, maybe the future of the Premier, too. Bennett was bounced out of cabinet yesterday for his latest call on Premier Gordon Campbell to quit and to do it now. And once he was out, he unloaded. With nothing left to lose, Bennett vented for reporters at the legislature who hadn't seen or heard anything quite like it. Today, he was choosing his words more carefully, but he wasn't taking anything back. Shachi Curl has the story.
The day after an unprecedented outburst aimed at the Premier, his most recent dissident is a little more subdued.
I'm relieved, actually, that I was able to speak my mind.
Former Energy Minister Bill Bennett was kicked out of cabinet yesterday for calling on Gordon Campbell to quit now. His removal unleashed a tirade.
And I'm tired of the bullshit that goes on in politics. And I'm really tired of the way Gordon Campbell thinks that he can just run on people. You have almost a battered wife syndrome inside our caucus today.
It brought a denial from the Premier.
Well, that's simply not true. But as you know, I think what we have to just remember here is that, after 17 years of working with people, I think the people to talk to about how I do things is the people that I've worked with.
And condemnation from fellow cabinet members.
Try and compare it back to spousal abuse. I was just disgusted with that.
If I offended anybody in that situation or anybody at all with the use of that expression, I'm certainly sorry that I did that.
But does anger at Bennett translate into support for Gordon Campbell to stay on another 3 months? Sources tell A News Bennett is not the only Liberal who favors an early exit. But amidst all the chaos and the unpleasantness, the Premier made one move aimed at mollifying his cabinet and his caucus. He suspended that 15% income tax cut. The opposition and business leaders are slamming the reversal.
To be unveiling a tax reduction a few weeks ago and then announcing you're not going to go ahead with it today, obviously that's not the way tax policy should be made.
This kind of chaos isn't good for our economy. It's not good for British Columbia.
Voters are divided.
You happy about that? No, of course not. Who wants to pay more taxes?
I would prefer to have the services rather than some money in my pocket that is probably going to go to pay for something frivolous anyway.
Campbell says it's a movement to give his would-be successors more choices in how they want to set priorities going forward, and a sign he will spend the next 3 months as a kind of caretaker Premier, promising not to do or say anything new.
On November the 3rd, I said I was going to step aside. I asked the party to come forward and say this is when they're going to have their leadership vote. I really did think it was important to have a clear slate for the new candidates.
That's not good enough for Bill Bennett.
Well, if he's not going to add value to the process, I'm not quite sure why he would stick around. We've got a lot of work to do.
But it could be Bennett's fate, not Campbell's, on the line when Liberal MLAs meet tomorrow. In Victoria, Shachi Curl, A News.